I can't believe this is actually ending. Next, you know, life turned up for the better. That's what I was doing, or that's why this makes sense, or like that's why. Yeah. Check. All is rolling. All is rolling. Yeah, we good? Oh, freaking shoot. It's my freaking season 3 in this joint. I think I'm going to stand out of frame if I do something. I'm Juice, you feel me? It's your boy Deshaun. I got to talk my ish real quick, but it's freaking, look, it's freaking season 3, episode 1. Season 3, Unrehearsed. We back in this mug. This is for real. This ain't just a regular little, little collab, little one-off. This is the actual seat. We back in this mug. They tried to hold us down.
They tried it.
Life tried to beat us up this year.
Always.
And it did. I got some scars to prove it.
A little bit.
Little physical scars, emotional scars, mental scars, spiritual scars. I got all the scars to prove it. Mm-hmm. Financial scars. I got all the scars to prove it.
Thanks.
Life tried to beat us up this year, but we didn't came up. We didn't rose up in this year. Camera focus on me. Is that camera 1, 2, 3 is one of them joints. Camera 3 for season 3. Focus on me. You feel me? It's your boy Deshaun. Who we here with today?
Drop that.
With
With the one and only Demir Wright.
You feel me?
Know, right here, right now, in full effect.
Effect. This is Unrehearsed, season 3, episode 1. Mm-hmm. We back rolling. This is for real. And I'm pumped. I've been waiting on this day because life done beat me up this year. And, I just want to, I kind of want to throw in the towel. I ain't going to lie. I'm just being part of Unrehearsed. The thing that drives it is transparency and authenticity, having those honest conversations. I'll keep it a buck. I want to throw in the towel this year. But we headlined the first show.
Come on. Talk to the people.
My boy Demir killed that joint.
Come on.
Everybody killed that joint. Everybody. We back shooting season 3. And we had other blessings along the way. That's just not for public consumption. But we didn't came up.
Come on now.
We didn't came up. I'm excited. Man, dap me up. You feel me?
Come on.
You feel me?
On.
Welcome. Welcome those who are returning fans of the show, and those who didn't even know we had a show to begin with. This is Unrehearsed, season 3. It's your boy Deshaun. I got Demir with me right here, and we back. I'm back coming through with this honest platform. So we can have these transparent conversations and create this safe space that we can talk about our real life experiences and all of these things as we're going through them, as we're processing them, as we're healing from our mistakes, from other people's mistakes, learning what God is teaching us, what life is teaching us, all that kind of stuff. This is what Unrehearsed does. It's a platform for us to just be real. You ready to be real, bro?
I'm always ready, man.
How you doing, my guy?
I'm doing great, man. I'm actually super appreciative, to be in this space. I feel like it's been one of those things where it's like we've been gearing up to have these type of conversations, you know, life and all these things happening, all these great things, all these difficult things. It's been building us up to have a special moment. So it is definitely time for us to do something. How's everything in your world?
Oh man, I mean, I said life kind of beat me up this year, but as much as that has happened, it really, for me, it all depends on what I want to focus on. Because I can be like, yo, life beat me up this year been whack, or I can be like, yo, this has probably been the best year I've had. All things considered, I've honestly had life-changing experiences this year, literally from the first 3 months of the year, all the way up to the time of us shooting this. Like, I've had life-changing experiences, things that I've never experienced before, that I've always wanted to experience. I was able to experience these things in the midst of the not-so-good moments. And so I can honestly say, just speak for myself, that this year, even though we still got the rest of this month and 2 more months to go, I can honestly say the good has far outweighed the bad. The bad tried to pull your boy under. Yeah. I ain't gonna lie, the bad tried to pull your boy under this year. It was looking rough at one point. Yeah. But the good was just so elevating for me. It changed how I think. It changed my character, so there's growth there, and I'm always here for that. It further deepened my relationship with God. I'm always going to be here for that, and that's not negotiable. And so I'm appreciative, looking back while also kind of still somewhat being in it, I'm very appreciative
Hell
of how and it's good that we're we're getting back into the podcasting thing now, because I wouldn't have been able to come at it from this perspective if we was trying to do this, like, let's say 5 months ago or whatever,
Mm.
or during the summer or something like that, during late spring. I wouldn't have been able to. But now, and I'm still learning, but now knowing what I know, understanding what I understand, it's like I feel like I'm in a healthier place to be able to do a show like this and have the conversations that I know Unrehearsed is known for having. So I know that was a mouthful, but
Nah. I think I'm just glad to hear. It just sounds like the perception that you've been able to take on your wins and your losses far exceeds those losses, because even though there could have been quote unquote more good stuff than negative stuff or hard
Mhm.
stuff that's happened, the fact that you're focusing on those positives means the entire world, because
Yeah.
even if you had small things happen, we can make small things large, and we can make
Yeah.
large things even larger than that.
Yeah.
So it's just dope to hear that you have focused on the things that have risen you up. Like, man, it sounds like a comeback story, man. And that's the
Yeah.
best thing about a year, man. It's not one day, it's not 1 week, it's not 1 month, it's 12 months and 365 days.
Yes, sir.
And you got a lot of hours and seconds and time in between for things to fall off. You know what I mean? So it's dope that you've been able to focus up and do some great things, man. That was an impactful show that you had. I was really
Oh,
happy
yeah,
to have
thank you.
witnessed that, man. And I
Yeah.
saw it felt like, a star stepping into greatness, stepping
Ooh.
into the things that have already been there for
Yeah.
you. It's just time for the lights to come on and you to step out into the spotlight. And I'm glad that I got to see that. It was dope, bro.
I appreciate that. For those that may not be knowing what he's referring to, one of the life-changing experiences I've been blessed, thank the Lord, to be able to have this year was I headlined my very first show on October 4th in Vallejo. And I wasn't the only one performing. My man Demir killed it. It was a whole lineup of us. Shout out Nevaeh. Demir's right here. Obviously, shout out to him. Shout out Nevaeh. Shout out Underwood. Shout out Hanlon. Shout out Jay Suave. I think I covered it. Oh, shout out JM3. Can't forget my boy. I believe that's everybody.
And what is it, Nova?
Yeah, Noble Cinema Studio. Shout out the whole team. Shout out Nobi. Love Nobi. Shout out the whole Noble Cinema staff. Our fault. We having a little technical difficulty with the here microphone, but I was saying shout out to the whole team, and it just made sense to do it there. The support was already there, and folks was like, you need to run this back before I even got on stage to do
Come on.
my thing. But you were saying before, I'm gonna keep a sharp eye on this now. But you were saying, because you had killed it too, bro. How you been, dog?
Man, I've truly been great, man. I've been blessed. I've been working through like a lot of stuff, kind of similar to you in a way of the first half of the year definitely brought challenges that were unexpected,
Yeah.
as life tends to do so.
Yeah.
But I've been in a really blessed space where I know that God has continued to like put me around the right people and being in the right moments at the right time. I feel like this year has been a year full of what people who don't know God call coincidences, and I just call like the path that's set out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
God's plan. I feel like I definitely am not one of those people who always, of course, make the right choice like everyone else, but God continues to keep that favor on me, keep that grace on me, and
That's good.
yeah, man, I feel truly blessed, man. It's been dope, man. I've met some really cool people,
Yeah.
and whenever I feel like down and out or feel like quitting, there's like literally something that happens in that moment or in the next moment or in the time that's needed to keep me pushing. So it's like it's dope.
That's good.
It's
That's
dope.
that's I can relate to that. That's how I felt this year, because it's like I said, this was gonna be like I'm throwing in the towel, but every time I felt like I was all right, I'm finna do it. Either somebody says something or something happens, and then it's like next you know, boom, like the show. Like I was gonna throw in the towel before I even got the idea to do the show, and then even when I was like, okay, I'll do the show, it was like, okay, we're making ourselves do this, but there was still that thing in the back of my head, like, man, I don't really know. I was nervous how was this gonna go, but then the show hit, and it was like, nah, bro, I ain't stopping, bro. How could you, bro?
Nah.
You gotta keep going, man.
Got to, man, and I think it goes hand in hand with what we kind of wanted to talk about, and like,
Yeah.
which I guess I'll start off with the first one is like the comparison. I think sometimes it's like low key easier to make the excuse of wanting to throw in the towel when like you see somebody that I don't know you may started in music with or similar timing, or you just feel like you're on a certain level and you don't necessarily feel as though you are getting that same type of movement, emotion, or eyes,
Yeah.
or love, or numbers. And it's the fight of the artist. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? To not only to focus on the craft, but like not to look too much east and west. You know what I mean? And not even north and south, just
Yeah.
north.
Right.
Just go in the direction in which your heart and God is telling you, and don't focus on anything that's pulling you back, especially comparison, because it takes you away from the art. It takes you away from the reason that you're
Yeah.
doing it all.
Yeah, and I think, I mean, obviously we can relate in the sense of being artists, but I think it's a human thing because even I've noticed with myself, just being transparent, there were moments where I was like, it didn't even have anything to do with music. It's like, dang, yo, this, you start comparing, like, man, they, by the looks of it, it's like, man, how they
Doing it, they doing it.
how they do that? Ain't got nothing to do with music, but it's just, everyone is everyone's running their own pace, and we're not all like, how do I want to put this? Like, you could be, for example, up or something like that in one particular area,
Yep.
but then down in a whole other area,
Somebody got you.
somebody or something or life just kind of got you or whatever, it's just your weak point. But that's obviously not going to be the area that you're going to post
Yeah.
or put out there or let people see. And so for me, I'm always like, because I know what I want and I know what I'm working towards, and I see the flashes of the potential, or if the, like the show was one of them. It's like, oh, I see what this could be. Or even with this show, I see what this could be. And it's like, there's that seeing that goal, but then also knowing where you're at currently. And so the frustration is in that gap in between. And it's like, what I gotta do to get there? Why aren't I there? What's wrong with me? What's going on with me? How come I'm not there? What is working? What isn't working? Da 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 da. And you might, out of that, whether you want to call that like an insecurity or just some sort of weak moment, you may look the other way towards maybe one of your contemporaries or something like that, and just assume that maybe that because of that post, oh man, they up. But
mind you, they've had like all low engagement until that one post that you happen to see on that particular day at that particular moment,
right,
when everyone was on social media.
Right, and they may not be using social media to talk about to vent or talk about their frustration. I don't use social media to talk about it. I mean, if anything, I might vent a little bit on Unrehearsed, but I don't save that part of me for public consumption like that. You know what I mean? But there's always some sort of struggle. I've learned that everyone has their own battle.
100%.
And it's always, I heard a pastor say, I want to say it was Stephen Furtick or something like that, but you're coming up, and as you're coming up, you're always feeling weighed down by something. And that was honestly me this year. There was moments where it was obvious, yo, I'm coming up, but dang, I'm weighed down heavy by what I just experienced or what I just went through or yada yada, or how this person just treated me or whatever the case. But I'm coming up, but I just feel like something just dragging me down. But we don't always necessarily show that part where it feels like we're being dragged. Which is why this year, as great as it was also probably equally just as hard. Because as strong as there was upward momentum in my personal life, there was also that downward gravity. You know what I mean? But when you're comparing yourself to somebody, whether it's in their grind or just in their personal life or whatever you may perceive their finances to be, you're not also comparing with what could be working against them. It could be the same exact thing working against the both of you guys, but you won't necessarily know that. And so as I'm getting older, I've learned to just look. It's all in God's timing with whatever it is He's trying to bless me with. And quite frankly, I don't want to fight nobody else's battles either, bro. Because if you're going to compare yourself to somebody, you got to compare yourself to all of them.
Yeah.
I don't want to fight their wars.
Yeah.
I got my own battles.
Exactly. And you definitely, man, it's nothing like trying to save somebody else when you're drowning. You know what I mean? Or like imagine like that plane simulator when they're always telling you put your mask on first. It's like you actually have to, and if you don't, you're gonna it's gonna take you longer to get their mask on than them just putting their own mask on. Now y'all both don't got oxygen.
And you come to find out they masks don't even fit your face.
Too, because and it's made for them, and
It's
yours was
made
made for you.
specifically for them.
You know, and that goes hand in hand with the other topic, and it's like the comparison and being right with yourself or being
Yeah.
alone. It's like you have to have that forewithal to know, or that was it forethought. You have to have
Something
that.
like that.
You have to understand that it's important to be right with you 100%
Yeah.
before anything else, and that's whether that's music, whether that's your finances, whether that's love within self or with other people. It's like you have to find that center within yourself before you can keep it pushing. And I think this year has brought us both that. Like we've talked a lot off camera about just life in general, and I could see that there's been some parallels in both of our stories of just
Yeah.
understanding that like sometimes you really do have to go through that season, like that lone wolf season, or feel as though you're in that lone wolf season. And
Yeah.
maybe you will find that tribe, maybe you won't, maybe it's next season that you'll find that tribe, maybe it's this, but you know I think it's all coming together, and it feels like there's some synchronicity,
Yeah.
and it's all in God's hands, man. It's all
Yeah.
about the right time.
Absolutely. And with with me, it was interesting because like it's like I said, there's that upward momentum, but then there's that also gravity working against you. I have felt, just being in my head, being in my thoughts and my emotions this year. There was a span this year like, yo, I'm in this by myself, and to a certain extent, given what I was going through, I kind of was.
Yeah.
To an extent, I actually kind of was, but that's just me focusing on that one little thing. But if I was to zoom out, I actually gained a community this year that I didn't have before. I actually gained like a brotherhood, with this because I'm in a men's group and stuff like that, a Christian men's group. Never was in one before, outside of my like church stuff like, but never was in one specifically for we're just building up the men here because we guys, we go through stuff and we thug it out pretty much.
Yeah.
But this is like no, you ain't got to thug it out here. We can have those moments where we can be vulnerable. I ain't gonna say what we talking about because that's just for the guys. But I didn't have that before, and now I got that. And when I got that, was right when I needed it. Was right when I needed it. Like it was at the moment something bad happened. Was the moment that door opened. Man, I hope that fixes it because I promise you, I never even experienced that today, and I was just using this yesterday. But like I was saying, at the moment that I needed that men's group, when I really started to feel alone, God just opened that door. And my mindset was like, well, what else am I gonna do? Well, I just followed through, and it ended up just being like that community I need, where it's just brothers in Christ, just banding together, praying for one another, talking about our struggles, talking about our shortcomings. We've talked about just anything that we were dealing with as men, and I needed that. But what's funny, it's just I've learned with me, it's just it really just comes down to perspective, because I could have held on to that mindset of, oh man, I'm in this by myself and da 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 da, and I dealt with a lot of things this year. But it's like, no, when you zoom out, well, look what you gained. You got this community now. Anytime that you was struggling with something and you needed like some prayer, what did you do? You tapped in with them. You know what I mean? Oh, but look who else you gained over here. You know what I mean? You reconnected with a friend in the family. Y'all ain't seen each other in like 10 plus years. Now y'all within proximity. Anytime you need to pray or just vent, you can reach out to them too. And there's other stuff, and it's like, oh, it's just crazy how this year really taught me a lot, bro. It's crazy how it worked, and it's important to be at peace with yourself and to be able to be alone. But at the same time, even if there is some of that loneliness, which I did experience, I wasn't really truly alone.
Yeah.
Some of it was just in my head.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I think that's almost all the time when you feel that sense of loneliness. It's usually come down to a few things, within something that you may feel as though you may lack, when in reality it's just the when you magnify something, it grows. Just like when you have one negative thought, it seems like you have a negative day, or
Yeah.
one negative day turns into a negative 2 days or 3 days or a week, and then from that one thought, now everything in life feels as though it's wrong. When it's, I just feel like sometimes it's that magnifying glass. It's human
Yeah.
nature to kind of go down the rabbit hole of one thought. It goes to the next. That's why, man, it's so important to like not have like unchecked thoughts, or not have too many unchecked thoughts.
That's a that's a bar.
Yeah.
I think I raise my hand. I suck at that, bro.
Hmm.
But you know what? That was one of the things that, I was talking with somebody and they didn't phrase it just like that, but they reminded me of some things that pretty much was saying what
Similar.
you just saying. Like, you can also think like this too, right?
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But it's crazy. Like, I don't know if maybe it's just me, but it's like all it takes is just one somewhat bad thought.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, if I don't reel it in quick,
Yeah.
we out of there.
Yeah. Nah, trust me. It really comes down to like your thoughts and your habits and your thoughts. Like I used to talk, I don't know if it was my brother, my older brother, but he told me about like a ceiling that he feels like everyone has for happiness. Meaning like your threshold.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't know, like a birthday or these big events, or perfect example, you going to that show, right?
Mm-hmm.
You having that show, there's probably several times that you could have maybe had an, or maybe even once, an outer body experience.
Mm-hmm.
When you're there, you're performing, and you actually, like, time could have slowed down. You saw the crowd, you got that rush of feeling of, wow, like, this is what I love to do. I've worked very hard for this. It feels really good to get the admiration of my peers and the people who I respect in the crowd, and everyone's looking at me. They're not, you know what I mean? They're looking, and some people are even saying my lyrics. Some people that I may not have thought that knew these. But in a conversation with my brother, he was saying that sometimes it's hard to exceed a certain feeling without the come down first. Right? Like that high is amazing. It's so great, and it feels so great. But it's almost like we're wired in a weird way in which when we get too high, that means we have to counteract it with something. And that could be that one thought. For instance, oh my God, I had a great show, blah, 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 blah. And then boom, you get a thought. Yeah, but there was 10 other people who were gassing me up saying that they were going to come to that show, and they didn't.
That happened to me, bro. To a slight extent, that happened.
That's what I'm saying. But that's it right there.
I didn't let it get to me though, because the show was just too. Brandon, shout out Brandon behind the cannon, yo. I don't think we
honest.
Yeah, keeping me honest. I don't think we shouted out Brandon yet. It's not unrehearsed if we ain't shout out Brandon behind the cannon, behind the camera. Shout out Chris editing. Shout out the whole transparency team. But you were saying, I didn't mean to
Nah, you're good, man. But yeah, I think it's that weird thing that happens when your brain is like, oh wait, we're a little too happy now. Like we're a little too out of the comfort. But it's all based on comfortability, right?
Yeah.
Whether it's happiness or sadness, we have a threshold for both.
Yeah.
You have a threshold for instance, for sadness. For some people who've came out of depression and they're no longer depressed, or they're no longer feeling that feeling of sadness, when they feel those feelings for too long, right? Maybe they go 2 days without getting out of bed or this and that. If you have a threshold for sadness and you're going beneath it, then you're like, let me go out and go for a walk.
Right.
You're
happy.
Dude, your brain is literally like, oh, let me do that one thing. But it's scarier when it's the opposite direction, when it's the high to the low.
Yeah.
Because you're like, everything is great, and you're starting to question, what could possibly make me sad if I'm this happy?
Right.
Yeah, but I don't know. I just think it's the interesting duality. But like your homie or whoever you were saying said, it actually is possible to check that very thought.
Yeah.
It is possible to check that thought. Some people use prayer, or some people use meditation. I think it's the same thing.
Yeah.
But I think meditation in the human world, I think that's easier for you to have some control over your actual thoughts, rather than giving it to God in prayer. Meaning, like, you could do something too. You know what I mean?
True.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You, bro, meditation, bro, is just gym for your brain.
Right.
Literally.
I mean, at the end of the day, you do have to do the mental work, the mental gymnastics. Like how I said earlier, like, I did have that moment, but I didn't let it get to me.
Yeah.
because when I felt it, I mean, it was a check thought. Like, so when I felt it, and and you know who said who gonna be there and who said
Oh, for
ain't,
sure.
and so
Every time.
you hold people by their word.
Every time.
I'm looking like, I ain't here yet. Okay, I ain't gone on stage yet.
Yeah.
Maybe they
Haven't seen him.
Yeah, I ain't seen them. You know what I mean? And so, but I remember telling myself, like in the moment, like, no, this is too much of a blessing. There's no way in the world I'm gonna let something kind
Take it away from you.
exactly like,
And even you.
even me. I'm not gonna let myself get in the way of this, and I didn't let myself get in the way of this. So that's an example of checking the thought. But that's because the high was so freaking high. It was
Yeah.
like, whoa.
Yeah, like it may be a little bit more difficult to check the thought if the greatness wasn't as big as the low.
Right.
But since it outweighed, it was like, oh, you know what? How can I,
Yeah.
take away from such a great experience?
Exactly. But in more everyday circumstances, is more of an issue.
Yeah.
And that, as I'm getting older, it's like I suck at it. I'm not gonna lie, I suck at it. I am an overthinker, a pretty bad one. I've gotten better, but I still kind of suck at it. You know what I mean? And so I'm, like it's I learned, like, at least with me, if the thought seems too strong, because sometimes it'll hit you at a sensitive spot, then it's like I'll go to somebody that I trust. I'll go to, like, for example, I was having a moment, the other day actually. So it happens frequently. I was having a moment the other day, and I just had to call up a friend. And I was like, yo, this is what's going. I had to call up a couple friends. It's like, yo, this is what's going through my head. And one of the people I called up is someone that's elderly, because I got to the point where it's like I needed to hear, like, some wisdom. I needed to hear, like, something from people who's been through life, who's much older than me, who has experienced worse than me, who knows how to simplify what my brain is trying to overly complicate. Oh geez, and stuff like that. And so I had to call up one, and we sat on the phone and we talked, and they just the elderly wisdom kicked in, and I was like, oh, okay. You know what I mean?
That makes sense.
Yeah, like I totally blew this out of proportion mentally. A lot of times it's just you're making a mountain out of a molehill. It may mean something to you, and it does, but, like, relax your brain at the same time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just do this little simple step right here to whatever the situation is called for. And that's what they were pretty much telling me. It was like, yo, just do this. You're fine.
Yeah.
Just do that. And I was like, oh, okay. I guess I am good.
Isn't it always crazy? I have two thoughts about that. For one, like, somebody else's advice, or somebody else, or even you seeing somebody else going through something, you always got the answer.
Mm-hmm.
But for yourself, it's always difficult to find that same answer.
Mm-hmm.
And the second thing is the right person, like God giving you the right person to hear a specific thing from that person, and it hits.
And it is.
Because, like, you could literally have somebody else that said that same simple thing. You're like, man, you don't know enough about life to tell me what I should do about my life.
Right.
You haven't even done that in your life.
You don't understand me.
Yeah, but then you got that for that person who you respect, your OG, and they gave you the most simple advice, and it hit. It's crazy how you're just always somehow blessed with that favor of, like, getting the right person at that right time, and says that one simple thing. You're like, oh, it's not even that deep. I can literally keep pushing on.
Yeah, or I could just do this one little simple change, or whatever.
Change the whole game.
Yeah.
Speaking of games,
he want me to make a public example out of him on this Uno.